What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
What is going on, OTB Nation? Welcome into episode number 414 of the award-nominated, honorably mentioned, number 9 NCAA ranked, number 11 Philadelphia ranked, the most unprofessional and disrespectful lacrosse podcast you've ever done, seen, and heard on the market. It is the Outside the Box podcast, brought to you by Underground Industries. KB and Deej coming at you. Little solo dolo two-man game running at you. We got a loaded weekend of lacrosse upcoming in the National Lacrosse League. We're about the mid-season point, so we had fan mid-season awards come out. I strolled through them, and I was like, are we watching the same games for some of these? Because I was blown away. We'll dive into that a little bit, and then before we start recording, a former Major League Lacrosse player is coming to our neck of the woods and joining the Philadelphia Eagles coaching staff, so we'll talk about that as well. Not much news in the PLL, not much news in the WLL. Champ Series right around the corner, though, which is very exciting. So can't wait for that. And we'll just have some fun and banter along the way like we always do. So before we get into all of the banter, make sure you guys are following us on the socials at OTB LaxPod, literally on every platform. Follow Deej at SCS_NextGreat on Twitter, at Uncle Deej12 on Instagram. And I believe it transferred over to Threads as well. So he's got Uncle Deej12 on Threads. Follow Hoots at hootsportsmedia.com. If you know, you know. Follow me on Twitter at KBICCL311 and let me know if you think I'm stupid, don't know baseball, don't know Phillies, don't know lacrosse, what have you. I just have haters now, Deej. I think this is the point in my life where I'm realizing I'm making it in this media space because I'm officially just collecting haters like I'm Thanos with the Infinity Stones.
I mean, what is it, about 4 or 5 of them, Johns?
Some may have dusted like Thanos dusted half of the population. There's definitely at least 2 active.
Active is
one is very new. 2 did not get blipped.
Active is hilarious. Like you have inactive haters?
Probably.
I didn't know haters ever stopped. I thought they hated till the end of time.
That's just how you know that they're not real haters.
Say it again.
That's just how you know they're not real haters. But yeah, follow me if you want to, and you can check out all of my haters on the social medias because it's a fun time. It's a blast. Subscribe to the pod, subscribe to the pod, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. You can also watch the show on Spotify now. If you are a Spotify viewer, let us know how you're enjoying that. We have been getting a ton of new followers on both platforms since the college show started too, so that's been a ton of fun to see kind of just the growth there, and you guys getting 2 episodes a week now and being friends and telling friends that those are out there. But please keep subscribing, keep leaving those 5-star ratings and reviews and the comments on Spotify. And then, of course, subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia, Outside the Box podcast, and Underground Industries YouTube channels. YouTube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia is where you get this version of OTB every single week. Leave a like on the video, drop a comment in the comment section, click that bell icon so you know when new episodes go live. OTB channels where you get OTB original content plus the OTB College Show with Deej and Hoots. That drops every Tuesday, typically at 6 a.m., just depending on schedules and stuff. But typically that is the goal, is every Tuesday, 6 a.m. It's available for you on podcast platforms and on the OTB YouTube channel. So please subscribe over there and subscribe to Underground Industries. Follow Underground Industries at the Underground Industries. What's poppin', Deej? It has been a week of all weeks for me, so how we living?
I'm actually living pretty great. It's actually wild. Now that I have more podcasts to do, my life seems to be going better. College pod really off and running, having a great time over there with Hoots. We're really getting our chemistry rolling over there, having a great time with Neff. So if you haven't checked in with Uncle Deej and Neff Hughes. You might want to get over there ASAP and see what we got cooking. That's been fun. Michigan basketball still on a tear, although I recently found out they are subject to a in-season documentary, and we know how in-season documentary seasons go. So I'm bound to crash out at some point before the end of March/April. So that is just on the horizon. Michigan lacrosse still undefeated. Yeah, I mean, I have a promotion coming up here at the day job soon. Got to get a new car since my old car is totaled. Yeah, I am doing well. Things could be worse.
Hey, doing your job.
That's it. Job. I'm just doing my job.
But yeah, we're out here. Also, just want to let everybody know we are doing daily Olympics coverage. If you want Winter Olympics coverage, this entire Olympics run, go check out Light the Flame, an Olympics podcast that is an Underground Industries original. We're doing daily recap episodes. DJ's involved. I'm on it. Casey Libertor, our co-host of Underground Circuit. Patty Pitts has been in the mix. It's literally our whole company just watching the Olympics. We love the Olympics. It's one of our favorite times of the year. So if you want Olympics coverage, go check out Light the Flame on YouTube, youtube.com/@LightTheFlamePodcast, and then Apple, Spotify, just search Light the Flame and it should pop up for you. We're one of 4 active Olympic podcasts out there, so go tap in if you want that good Olympics coverage. National Lacrosse League Deej week 11 in the books. It was pseudo predictable, pretty solid games all around the board. Every game was within 3 goals. To recap it across the board, just final score wise, and then we'll go game by game. Ottawa wins 11-9 over your Roughnecks. Toronto takes down Oshawa in the rematch 12-10. The Philadelphia Wings snap the losing streak. They go into Banditland, big bad Banditland, in front of 19,000 plus, and take down the Buffalo Bandits 13-11. The Georgia Swarm keep on buzzing, and Brett Dobson continues to be our MVP. We may or may not be piecing some things together, Deej. This is breaking news to you just because it just popped in my head because I had the conversation at like 2 a.m. the other day. We may be piecing some things together to get Dauber on this show.
Excuse me? That's happening?
We're weaving the web to make it possible. We're making some connections.
I am so tired of finding out everything last.
That was literally
this is nuts.
That was literally Thursday morning at 2 a.m. And then yesterday I was just swamped catching up to where I couldn't even respond in our group chat to what was going on. Because we're recording this on Friday afternoon.
My bad for calling you out about that. I didn't have to.
No, it's all good. I was just like, I felt like the SpongeBob scene when they have the baby like scallop or whatever, and he's like banging on the blanket, ironing, vacuuming. That's what I felt like yesterday for most of the
day. Either that or the episode where SpongeBob is helping Mr. Krabs to do stuff for Miss Pearl. And he's like, it's not this or this. It's this.
It's that or the episode where Squidward like loses his job and he's in bed and SpongeBob's like, "Why don't you get a job?"
Oh wait, that's 2 things that don't work around here.
That won't work.
That episode has to be in everybody's like top 5. That episode.
And why aren't you in uniform?
Funny. That episode is so funny, man.
And then I was dealing with a Twitter troll as well on top of that. Like the last thing I needed was that, but that was a lot of fun.
I was ready to help, but you had it more than covered.
I was locked in.
You had it more than covered.
You used a great descriptor in our group chat. You said, "Fry that, man."
Hey,
I should have told him just put the fries in the bag.
You know I have arguably the best descriptors ever. Ever.
Bro, he said, "You're a bitch. And I was like, classy. And then I had a nice little layup from somebody that said, I was looking for it. My buddy sent me the Kevin Durant tweet. Look at you, emotional. I quote tweeted it with that.
Yes. Yes.
I was like, I can't find this quick enough. I need this. And then I quote tweeted with the smiling thumbs up because he said, go cry in the corner. I was like, ain't nothing to cry about over here, big dog.
I mean, I can't believe you didn't say it takes one to know one. That's what I would have said. He called me a bitch.
The fact that you're just hiding behind a burner podcast account that hasn't posted an episode in nearly 2 years is wild work.
Like, hey, it's okay to have a burner. It's not okay to attack people from your burner.
Right.
Let's be honest.
And I wasn't the only one either. That's the crazy part. He was just like, he was spraying shots everywhere. It was like, Jesus Christ, dude, go touch grass. I know there's snow on the ground, but like, go dig a little bit.
Go touch grass. Please reach through the sand, reach through the snow and touch grass.
Maybe it'll cool you down a little bit if you touch the snow.
He probably ain't got no snow where he's at. We don't even know where that man at.
No, I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is he a Mets fan?
No, he's a Phillies fan.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who actively follows me, chooses to follow me, so that's the funniest part.
That's weird, but all right.
Real goofy hours. Big goof troop.
It's been a whole lot of goofiness going on, let me tell you.
Man, big goofies. Yuck.
Chill.
Brian is like, God damn it, here we go again. Brian is literally like, oh shit, here we go again.
He's like, how is this happening on a Friday afternoon?
These boys are well rested. It's not after dark.
Well rested is a stretch.
Might be the biggest fib of all time.
It's up there.
To continue on, though, Georgia beat Vegas 12-9. Dauber continues his MVP run. Saskatchewan escaped San Diego 12-9. And then Vancouver, back-to-back, another dub, 16-15 final score, beat Rochester and knocked them down to 500. Where do we want to start, Deej?
We can start at the top of the show, man. This one hurt. This is like, I think this one solidified for me that Calgary is simply just not there.
Yeah.
They're close, but they're just not there. And every single game is going to remind you of that. Like, oh, this team's really good. They have the capability of being competitive with everyone, but they're not going to beat everyone. They're not going to beat anyone. They're going to get all the way to the fourth quarter and then crumble because they don't have the expert leadership and they don't have the goaltending you need to be uberly successful in the NLL. That is what this game told me. Is, hey, you're jam-packed on it. Like, I just feel like we are the Vegas of the North in the NLL. Our offense can go out and score with anybody, but can we get a stop to save our damn lives?
That's the crazy
Maybe
part.
not.
You got stops in this game. Like, this is arguably Aiden Walsh's one of his best games of his career.
He had a really good game and then late fourth quarter it really got to him. But I don't put it all on him because the defense did not play well enough in front of him to give him a chance either.
Mm-hmm. That's where they
started to fall apart.
The defense.
But like, I only say that, but they haven't played like this all season. The defense has been far better than what we saw, last weekend.
And I don't even think the defense is really the issue. This was a very, like, I've seen this script before, just in Philadelphia Wings colors, where you guys went out, you went shot for shot damn near, you won the face-off battle, you won the power play battle. It's just you didn't score enough. You didn't get enough shots off because you were right there. You were down 2-1 after the first. Ottawa put up 4 in the second, and that was kind of the deciding factor because you went even in the fourth quarter and you won the third quarter.
That was the deciding factor.
It was
this team is
muster up enough points to go Like, Tanner Cook had a great game, 5 points, he had a hat trick, but Jeff Teat put up a 9-piece.
Like, this team is so close to putting a 60-minute game together. They are so close to playing a full 60. This team can't win games without playing a full 60, which sucks.
Yeah.
I think that's maybe the bigger issue here is the team isn't constructed to have any kind of wiggle room or room for error. They have to play phenomenal lacrosse for 60 minutes. Nobody's going to do that. Lacrosse is a game of runs for a reason. Nobody's going to play a great 60 minutes all the time. You got to be able to take your bouts of energy, your bouts of runs, and make them last for an extended period of time and then be ready to answer when a run comes the other way. Right now, Calgary can't do that, and that is why they're sitting at the bottom of the league and are most likely going to be giving a really good pick away to the Toronto Rock. Honestly, this season couldn't be any worse as a Roughnecks fan. It literally can't. It could get better. It could be so much better. Like, if we had our own pick, I wouldn't even be mad right now. I literally wouldn't be mad. I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, we can't win a game, but Joey going to change that next year. Can't even say that. Can't even say that. Because we ain't going to have our pick in the first round. I don't even know if we got our second round pick this year. I'm lost for answers after this weekend. I think there's maybe one team in the league we can beat right now. And even that's a maybe. Vegas. And that's still a maybe.
That's interesting. I was going to say Oshawa.
I don't trust our offense against Oshawa. With Jammer and Net, like, I don't know how often we poke him.
Yeah, but the amount of, like, off shots that Oshawa takes, like, you have the transition guys to get those loose balls. And
the opportunities will be there. I just don't know if we stick them. Whereas, like, what I see in Vegas is if you put shots on net, they go in. So, like, will it be a scoring battle? Will it come down to whose defense will get maybe one stop?
Probably.
I trust our defense a little bit more to get that stop than I do Vegas's. But, like, I still don't feel super confident in Calgary beating Vegas either. Like, they're in such a weird spot as a team.
Yeah. And, I mean, defensively, like, Calgary did the job of, like, you let Jeff Teat beat you, which, like, most of the time that's going to be the case with any team. But you did a good job limiting Hellier, Riley O'Connor, and Connor Kiernan. They combined the three of them for 10 points across the board, and they combined for 4 goals. So it's like you limited those guys who are all privy to popping off at any given moment. Larson Sundown only had 2 assists in this game. So it's like you limited the supporting cast and you let, Captain Canada go be Captain Canada, but you got to be able to score too. And if you don't score against a team that we've seen in a similar vein, like their defense, not all that great. So if you get by them and you can take it to the rack against Higgy, which I'm not saying Higgy is like, a revolving door, but we say it all the time. You can only leave a goalie on an island for so long before that island starts shifting into the water and it gets absorbed by the ocean. You just didn't get the chance to bury the island into the ocean at the end of the day. So it's a big win for Ottawa to kind of get them back in the flow of things. They're back at 500. Still have a negative goal differential, but Calgary falls to 1-7. Still the only team in the league with 1 win on the year. Toronto and Oshawa. Toronto got their lick back against the FireWolves. They win 12-10. I mean, you couldn't script this any more perfectly, Deej. I don't know if you saw the final stats. Our guy, Alex Simmons, who obviously kind of kickstarted this new age rivalry with his comments after the first game, and then he comes on our show afterward and popped off with us, the fucking homie. 6 points, led the team. Dawson Theed, who they traded for, and everyone was like, why are they doing this? 5 goals in this game. But to go blow for blow with Alex Simmons was Josh Dawick.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't script this game any better.
I mean, this game's so weird to me because it was so even. Everything about this game was even. Leading goal scorers, 5 and 3. Assists, 5 and 4. Points, 6 apiece. Penalty minutes, 7 and 5. Shots on goal, 11 and 10. Loose balls, 10 and 11. Turnovers, caused turnovers, 2 and 1. Goals allowed, 11 and 10. Saves, 39-42. There was nothing about this game that separated anyone other than a couple more saves by Halifax and basically an empty netter. Like, this game was as even as it could get down the board. And I think the only thing that gave Toronto the ability to win this game was that it was a home game for them.
Yeah, I mean, you look at just Oshawa surprisingly won the faceoff battle in a pretty big way. You know, they won it by 4. They won the power play battle, 2 out of 3 on the power play. Toronto went 0 for 1. But again, like, Ethan Walker, no goals in this game. Like, Dyson Williams, 2 points in this game, 1 and 1. Taggart Clark was kind of a nothing burger in this game. Dawson Thied popped off, obviously. Like, Koschalk was over in this one. Colton Watkinson didn't do all that much on the offensive side of the ball. Ty Kurtz had 2 and 2. Jackson Nishimura had 2 assists. Simmer had his 6 points. Like, again, this is the classic case of the Oshawa FireWolves where Ty Kurtz and Alex Simmons show up. Dawson Thied showed up. Obviously, he's newer to this equation. But the rest of your supporting cast did not show up, and that is why they're losing games. They're relying on 2 guys to go out and pop off what seems like week in and week out, and then it's almost like, with Ethan and Dyson and Taggart and the rest of the offense, it's, whatever we get from them, that's just gravy. No, those guys need to contribute. You drafted Dyson number 1 overall. Like, I love the dude. I think he's a wildly talented player. But it feels like he's, like, not being utilized in the best way possible. This season, he's gotten off to slow starts every year of his NLL career. He rounded into form last year in the second half of the season, but this is now 2 straight seasons, and we saw him get off to a slow start, obviously, his PLL rookie season, but he was in and out of the lineup, so you can kind of see why the flow of things wasn't there for him. But it just feels like, Dyson had 5 shots on goal. Like, we're talking about Dyson Williams, who had a whole documentary built around him that our guy Adam Levy was a part of, and was talked about in the same breath as, like, being like the next big, Canadian guy to, take over the league. And it just feels like they're not using him properly each week. The way that, when you watch him play, when you look at his stats, like, it just feels like he's so out of position with this FireWolves offense.
Or it just feels like he's not producing. Like, I think
that could be the other, like, extreme.
To me, I don't even think it's an extreme. Like, I just think they looked at the fact that they've had him, a season and a half now?
Second season.
A season and a half, and he's done what? And in this season and a half, he's had very high volume. Like, how many games can we look back on? He's had 10, 11, 12 shots on goal, if not more. They were using him at an extremely high volume, and he was only turning over so much production. Eventually, you have to change. Like, the rule of insanity, right? Like, you can't keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Like, he's not producing. You guys aren't winning games. You have to change something up and start to go with the guys that are giving you the results you're looking for. And then you try and work him back in. And then also, I feel like it takes some of the pressure off of him as well. He doesn't have to, worry about going out and playing as well because he has other guys that are playing well, and he just has to find that spot that's going to work for him and be able to settle into that and then grow from there. So I think it's a twofold thing where he gets to really settle down, stop thinking so much, get out of his head, and just go out and play and just try and be helpful wherever he can versus being that top guy. Like when you're the number one guy, number two guy, like you have to go out and produce every night. You have to. And that's in your mind and you know that, and it starts to affect your play. So I think this is a two-part thing where they are getting more success because they're going to other guys, but also he gets to relax a little bit and find his role on this team that's going to help him and them be successful because there isn't so much pressure.
Like looking at his stats from last season, played 18 games, 26 goals, 39 assists, 65 points for a rookie. That's not bad at all. That's a phenomenal rookie season in the National Lacrosse League. Right now, in 10 games, Deej, Dyson has scored 11 goals and has 17 assists. You do the on average for both of those categories. He's on pace to have 19.8, so if you want to round up 20 goals, and 30.6, so if you want to round up 31 assists. He's on pace to have a much worse sophomore season than he did a year ago. Like, we thought it was a slow start early on with this team, and across the board it felt slow for them. But, Simmer and Ty Kurtz have led the way for this team. Dawson Theed steps into the lineup after getting traded. He's still popping off. There's something very wrong with the way either just production-wise from player, coaching-wise for said players, for both Dyson Williams and Ethan Walker with this team. I don't know how you fix it, but those two guys are far too valuable of players in terms of just like investment to be playing this poorly. Like you can't have that if you want to be a winning franchise.
I also think it's just a sophomore slump.
Which is very possible.
I don't take so I take more
in Dyson's
value.
Case, obviously.
I take more value in a first season and a third season than I do the second. Because like the first season, you still have a lot of excitement. You still have that like notion that like I have to prove myself. I have to go in and do X, Y, and Z to like, show that I'm supposed to be where I'm supposed to be and all that. The third season, a lot of times you're very comfortable in everything that goes on in your sport, from the travel to the practices to the recovery to the gameplay, like everything. You're settled in, you know exactly how it's going to go. Nothing is new to you anymore. So you know how to adjust, how to handle things, how to bounce back, all of that. The second season, though, is where I feel like a lot of guys get lost because that initial excitement and like need to prove themselves is gone. A lot of people know who they are, know their name, know that they fit, know their role, like that kind of thing. But there's still like I don't want to say complacency because that's not what it is, but like I said, that hunger to prove themselves is gone. So now they're just playing. And I think that's where a lot of that sophomore slump comes in. It's like Dyson came in. He's like, I'm a number one overall pick. They're looking at me to do X, Y, and Z. Like I have to prove that I'm that guy. So he went out and proved it. But now
even after a slow start too.
Right. And now
we talked about that on this show. We were like, why is Dyson off to this slow start? Is it him just getting like the box game under his feet? And then second half of the season, he went on his run and he won Rookie of the Year.
But like now that he has help, there are other guys there stepping up. He doesn't need to do as much. And he's in this second season. It seems like all of that is like feeding into that notion of like, I don't have to do everything I did last year, but it's also not helping him relax either. He feels like kind of just there and lost. At least that's what I see from his play, is like he doesn't like know where he fits in or what he's supposed to do now. He's like, okay, my role last year was to come in and like establish myself and be a helpful scorer in like X, Y, and Z. And now this year it feels like he doesn't know what to do. And I think
especially when
that's
his build
more
as
the
like
issue.
the face of that team.
But is he?
Well, he like I'm not saying he is per se. Like, I think they're more of like just a youthful core, but like coming in, like he was the talk of the town because nobody knew like what Brennan was going to be, which is kind of silly, and I think we both agree with that.
I think he was just talk of the town because he was the number 1 overall pick.
He was number 1 overall pick. There's obviously family history too, and
well, yeah, but like that family history only starts this year. That history
I'm saying like with his dad and with Tucker, obviously.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying all of that was more so this year when they moved to Oshawa. Like, yeah, they had all of that last year, but like it got heightened this year when they moved to Oshawa back to his hometown and like all of that. Like that's when that went from, hey, yeah, he's Tucker's brother, and like, you know, we're doing this Tucker Lymphoma Out series with all these teams against it. Right, that was, but then there was big talks, at least within the team and in the area, because Alex talked about it when he came on the pod about like how that was a little more blown up than it had been the year before because he was at home where a ton of people know him and his family. So I think maybe also that is part of what's going on is like there's a lot more emotion involved now that he's playing back at home in a place where a lot of people know him, his brother's legacy. Like there's a lot going on in Oshawa now. Other than just think, like the team.
He was like, we heard Dyson's name being talked about NLL wise and said it could be part of obviously just family stuff or what have you. But like Dyson was talked about probably since his sophomore season at Duke, like as like the next big draft prospect. Like I like being a guy who doesn't watch the college game as much as you do, obviously. Like Dyson's name was thrown around. Like I knew Dyson Williams' name for a long time. Like he was in that like front of lobe, like in terms of like next big prospect. And I just want to see him succeed. Like he's got the talent and the skill set to do it. But they got to figure something out with him, and they got to figure something out with Ethan Walker because Ethan's having what is on pace to be his worst full regular season of his career as well.
I mean, I think the thing with Ethan's a little bit different because to me it's a little bit more than just this season. Like with Dyson, I feel like this is very much an NLL issue. Granted, like he didn't have a great PLL season, but you look at
he had moments this past PLL season where it was like, oh, that's Dyson Williams.
I mean, not even that. Just like you look at just the Archer season overall, it wasn't
one of the bright spots.
Excuse me, it wasn't what we expect out of an Archer season, or have grown to expect out of an Archer season over the last couple of years. Several injuries derailed that offense in a multitude of ways. I think he was even included in some of those injuries as well in terms of, I don't think he missed significant time, but I think there was a game or two that he missed, or maybe he just wasn't put on the roster for, you know, whatever reason. He was a healthy scratch, whatever the case may be with that. But I don't think he played every game this season.
I'm double checking for you.
But yeah, like his
he played all 10.
Oh, okay. But it just even though he played all 10, the lack of what they were expecting to be their offense played into how their season went. So like to me, I feel like he had an okay PLL season, and
it was his first full PLL season too.
Right.
Like,
and it doesn't have any validity on the NLL, whereas like I'm looking at Ethan. It's been almost a year since we can say he's played consistent good lacrosse.
Hot take, does he need a change of scenery? Do Oshawa trade him at the trade deadline? With where they are in the standings right now, try to, you know...
But where does he go?
You'll hate what I'm going to bring up because I think there's a team that nobody would like to see him go to, and I don't know if they would obviously do business with them, but there's a team that is having a little bit of trouble scoring, and if there's a team that could potentially spark plug a guy to be a complementary piece and be around talented players, Ethan Walker with the Buffalo Bandits.
But I don't know
to be able to get fed from Dane and be out there with Josh and Tahoka, like It's still close enough to home for him too. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but like that's something I've thought about this week where I'm like, trade deadline is like I think middle of March, so like we're slowly but surely coming up on it. And it's like Oshawa, they
I
get
think
2
if
wins.
that,
Do they end up moving on from Ethan to kind of get some sort of capital and kind of just build around, Simmer, Ty Kurtz, Dyson, and kind of create less of a logjam on the offense?
I don't know if they really have a logjam as much as like they just haven't figured out how to use all of them in a way that's effective.
Which
So
is weird because they're 2 years away or 2 seasons removed from going to the NLL finals with this entire core except for Dyson.
like my thing is like you look at those Buffalo teams where they had like 7 forwards, 8 forwards who were
And
like
still found a way to make it work.
who legitimately could have left Buffalo and been a 2 or 3 guy anywhere else. And they were finding out how to get those guys to score on a consistent basis or how to use them to where they felt effective. You got 4 or 5 dudes and you can't do it. Maybe your coach is what needs to change. I'm not saying that's the case, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not always the players.
I feel the same way. I'm dealing with it with the 76ers right now, not to cut you off, but it's like the Sixers just traded Jared McCain, who I think and you think is a very talented young player in the NBA, loved his game at Duke. I was bummed when the Sixers traded him. You're telling me that you had to trade him to get under the tax threshold and Nick Nurse couldn't work him in to a rotation that only has 2 other like premium players at the guard position, but now he goes to Oklahoma City and he's scoring 8 points in 75 seconds and he's thriving on a team that you want to talk about a logjam at the guard position. He's coming in and contributing right away. Make it make sense.
Yeah, I don't think you got to move guys as much as you have to maybe change philosophy and game plan, or look at the front office a little bit. I think players are oftentimes blamed too much. Sometimes I even think coaches are blamed too much. When do we start to look at operations managers? When do we start to look at player development coaches? When do we start to look at general managers for putting together teams that aren't successful, for not helping players develop to be better? The operations, as far as what they have available to them to get better, aren't where they should be. When do we start to blame those people for how teams are turning out? I'm not saying that's the case here. Like I said, I think Ethan's situation, I think, is a little more mental. And I only say that because it seems like it has been almost a full calendar year since we can say that he's played consistently good. And I mean, in order to be consistent, maybe a month, 3-4 games where you're just playing the same kind of ball. Boom, boom, boom. We know what to expect out of you. Maybe one game you might give us 4, but the next game you'll give us 2 and 1. But we know you're going to dodge hard. We know you're going to get to a spot. We know you're going to draw double teams and move the ball. But those things aren't really showing for
There's
Ethan
no
Walker
consistency in his game
right now.
Since his last PLL season, and
not this one that just passed, the one before that.
Right, like the last one that he played, which was 2024.
Mm-hmm. So that's my worry with Ethan, is this seems to be a bigger of an issue because it's lasting longer. I truly think Dyson is just in a sophomore slump.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like Ethan went into a sophomore slump and then didn't come out.
Right. Hear me out. I'm going to list the playoff teams right now. We're just playing let's make a deal. Which of you tell me yes or no, and if you say yes, we'll figure out from there. We'll put like a poll out of the teams that are yes. I give you the team that's in the playoffs right now in the NLL. You tell me yes or no if it's a fit for Ethan Walker if Oshawa were to hypothetically trade him. We'll start with Saskatchewan.
No. Hear me out. I think players there, style of play, all of that fits, but you don't fix what ain't broke.
Right. I agree with you.
The vibes of that team are unreal right now. And even though I think Ethan would fit with those guys and wouldn't change that vibe, just the idea of someone new coming in could throw all of that off.
Mm-hmm.
Guys just being like, well, what did we bring him in for? I play the same position as him. I shoot well. Why is he? It's subconscious. It's subconscious because we're humans.
That
it's subconscious.
Like with Oshawa, it's to just bolster their defense, and it's trading for Kyle Rubish to bring him back to Saskatchewan.
I could see that. I just think
that's like the one move they would make, in my opinion.
It's natural as humans to just like innately compare. Like that's just the first thing we do. And like we have to stop ourselves as humans from comparing ourselves to other people. So they bring him in, instantly guys are going to go, well, they're not happy with me. What am I doing that's not good enough? Why do we need him? Look at our record. Look at how many goals we're scoring. Like, why is he here? So yeah, I don't like it for that reason. I think every other part of his game and their game fits 100%.
The Colorado Mammoth, Denver University alum. Team him back up with Jack Hanna.
They moved away from Connor Kelly this year, didn't they?
They traded him to Georgia in the Andrew Q deal.
I think I would say yes.
I would say yes. I just don't know if they have the draft capital to do it. But in a world where it could happen, I'm almost leaning yes to, especially with the Ryan Lee injury. If Ryan Lee was still healthy, I'd say no.
Even with Ryan Lee, I think that for me, it's the it's the moving of Connor Kelly. They don't really have like that outside shooter. Like, granted, there isn't a lot of outside shooting that's happening in the NLL, but he creates like that. To me, he brings that strong shot ability back to Colorado. Like you had that, you had that with Zed. You had that with right. I'm not taking away from Q,
all
but
over
like
the floor.
When you had multiple guys doing it, it kind of created a different response from the defense. Now that you really only have one guy with that kind of outside shot ability, it changes how teams defend you. You bring him in, you have more than one guy with that ability, you might be able to get a little more space on the floor.
Which I think, like, you look at their team, like they're relatively young in a lot of spots too. Like, I think they want to see like Jameson Bucktooth, and they want to see Thomas Vila, still contributing. They want to see Owen Ron get his feet under him. But I don't know. That's an interesting one. That's like one of those like maybe type situations. The Vancouver Warriors, I say no.
Yeah, I don't like that fit.
It's just like they're having the Calgary Roughnecks 2019 reunion tour, and Ethan Walker was not part of the 2019 Calgary Roughnecks.
He was not. You are correct. He does not fit the model they are trying to put together.
Here's an interesting one that I think at the start of the season, I would have been like, what are we talking about? Let's go back to the team that drafted Ethan Walker, the Georgia Swarm, who sit at 6-3.
Yeah, I don't think there is really anybody that doesn't fit their offense. I mean,
yeah,
their offensive plan is give the ball to Lyle, and if you're open, he'll give it to you. If not, he'll shoot it. So I think everybody fits into that. Or he'll find Shane
Jackson, or one of these young boys will just be like, yeah, I'm going to showcase my skills this week.
Like everybody fits into that offense. There isn't really a design of it. It's like the most free ball lacrosse I've ever seen.
If I remember, they've got hella draft picks, too, from all the trades they've been making, because they love accumulating draft picks. So they're an interesting one. The Toronto Rock. I just think out of principle, they wouldn't trade him there.
Yeah. I don't hate the look.
Right.
In terms of him with some of those younger guys, and then like Mark Matthews and a few others that are there, Challen Rogers, like he fits the group. But I think the history between the two teams and all of that does not warrant for him to move there.
The Las Vegas Desert Dogs, I say no.
I also say no. They're jam-packed on offense. They need
Yeah.
defense real bad.
Like they couldn't pay Jack Hanna. What makes you think they're gonna trade for Ethan Walker?
Exactly.
Which, no offense to Ethan Walker, Jack Hanna is just a superior player.
I 100% agree.
The Rochester Nighthawks, I say no.
I also say no. I don't feel like they really need anything.
They're loaded on offense.
Yeah, I think they're loaded defensively. I think they just have a very good team, and they're one of the few teams I put near Saskatchewan in terms of like how their roster is built. Like the Rochester offense or the Rochester roster is built to win. It's built to win an NLL championship. I don't know if they're going to get to the cup, but it's built to win it. And there's very few teams in this year's NLL that are built that way.
They're another team that I'm like slowly putting on my Kyle Rubish radar to like bolster that defense.
Mm-hmm.
The San Diego Seals.
Yeah, they need some help on the offense too. On the real, like they have their moments where they look really good. They have some guys that are really standing out for them. Westberg does Westberg things. Trey LeClaire has been phenomenal for them as he's gotten more space on that offense. But I think he adds another young guy that they can continue to build around and prepare to make a run with. I like that move a lot.
Yeah, so those are the teams right now just based on record. I put the Seals in there because they're tied with Vegas and Rochester in terms of record. So we said yes to the Mammoth, the Swarm. Oh, I missed the Ottawa Black Bears. I lean no, but then I'm also like, but wait.
I lean yes.
It intrigues me.
I lean yes.
It's like it's the meme from Knives Out where Daniel Craig, Benoit Blanc's like, it don't make no damn sense. It intrigues me though.
No, yeah, I like that a lot. It makes a lot of sense to me. Makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a reason for it to not make sense.
Yeah. And then I say the Buffalo Bandits make sense too.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, we'll put a poll with, let's say what 14, we'll put 3 teams and then other. So we put Georgia, Ottawa, Buffalo, and then other.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were kind of like on the fence with Colorado a little bit. Because they're also kind of in a similar boat right now as Saskatchewan for me, where it's like their offense ain't broke. Like they're clicking on all cylinders ever since, they got Hannah, Q, and Malcolm out on the floor together. And then the young guys are just thriving off of that. So it's like, why fix something that ain't broken? But also kind of intrigues me a little bit. But I think the teams that we put on the poll, it's Georgia, Ottawa, Buffalo, and then other. You can let us know which one fits your liking. But I think Ethan Walker, Kyle Rubish right now are like 2 big names. And I have no inside sourcing on this. This is just looking at a team that is low in the standings. Maybe we unload and get some draft capital for those guys or get some young players to add to this team and, look towards 2026, 2027. Now that we've gone through that exercise, the Philadelphia Wings beat the Buffalo Bandits. What a fucking game for the boys. And hey, Deej, do you remember? I want you to do a little flashback here. Do you remember when I was told Kyle Jackson was washed? He just didn't have it anymore. It was over for him.
I just want y'all to know out there, I ignored him basically all weekend after he said this.
Remember when they said Kyle Jackson couldn't do it anymore?
Because once you
he goes out and scores one of the sickest goals this NLL season, just tiptoeing like a gymnastics dad that he is.
In Jordans?
My man was tiptoeing in his insert shoe brand here.
All I'm trying to say is once you feed into this mess, it don't stop.
My boy KJ47 was back with a vengeance. 7 points in his re-debut with the Philadelphia Wings. Went blow for blow, bar for bar with Dane Smith. They had the same stat line. 2 goals, 5 assists. That's pretty good in my book. Oh, and get this, Deej. First win in Philadelphia Wings history with Michael Sowers in the lineup. That curse is over.
I didn't know that was even a thing.
It drove me nuts that was a thing. Because he would always play so goddamn good. And then we would lose. And it's just like, Jesus Christ, can we get this kid a win? Sowers led the game in goals, too. 4 goals for Michael Sowers in this one.
He had a very
hell
good
of a game from him. 10 shots on goal. The Wings won a game where Dane Smith alone had 22 shots on goal.
I mean, that's the real MVP.
Nick Damude, baby.
Yeah, he had a game.
47 saves.
I mean, that's the only way Philly's going to win games this year. No offense. I just don't think your offense has enough consistency.
And this was the first time that the offense had multiple contributors, in a consistent fashion. Joe Resetarits had 5 points. Michael Sowers had 5 points, including those 4 goals. Brennan O'Neill had 4 goals, 5 points. Eric Fennell, 3 assists. Kyle Jackson, 7 points. Sam LeClaire, the drought is over. 3 points in this one. He scored a goal as well. You had multiple contributors from your superstars to your supporting cast, and that's how you win games in the National Lacrosse League, is you get guys to contribute across the board. Nick Damude was phenomenal once again. The Wings held their own at the faceoff stripe. Bo Columbus, shout out to the boy, doing his thing. Kind of held it down there at the stripe. The Wings went 12 for 28. Buffalo went 16 for 28. And Buffalo was sloppy. The Wings didn't capitalize fully on their power play opportunities. The Wings could have had more points in this game if they capitalized. They only went 2 for 5 on the power play, but Buffalo gave them 5 power play opportunities. There was 5 moments in this game where the Wings were playing man up, or, where Buffalo had 2 power play opportunities. It was a clean game from the Wings. And the shots on goal discrepancy, even though the Wings lost it, it wasn't as wide of a gap as we've seen this season. Buffalo outshot Philly 58-47. But this is an awesome, awesome win for the Wings, and they played a good fourth quarter. They outscored the Bandits 4-2 in the fourth quarter. They outscored them 4-3 in the first quarter, where the Wings have had the most success this season. And the only quarter they lost was the second quarter, where they still went into halftime all tied up at 6. To go into halftime tied up with the Bandits is pretty good, and to go into halftime tied up at Buffalo is pretty good. This is the best win of the season. And I know there's only 2. That Mammoth win was impressive, but from a complete game standpoint, this was an awesome win for the Philadelphia Wings.
Yeah, it's what they needed. They needed a win like this really bad, and I think it really helps to get that win against a team like Buffalo. It's not just, your team that's struggling this year or in the middle of the pack. Well, scratch that. They're very much struggling this year. They're very much, I think, below the middle of the pack. But it's not your traditional middle of the pack, below standard team. What I think we're seeing with Buffalo is they're not as good as they have been the last couple of years. They're still very good, but they're still getting everybody's absolute best shot, because they are still Buffalo, who has won 3 in a row, is at the top of the NLL until they're truly unseated and unthroned with an NLL Cup. That's how everybody looks at them. So now you have a team that isn't at the skill level it has been, being played against as if it is still at that skill level, and now is having trouble finishing games. They're not getting blown out.
Feels like outside of that Mammoth game when they got blown out, but that was the outlier. They lost 20-9.
Yeah, I know. But we're not talking about that. You make my head hurt
they've lost 4 in a row.
I know where you're about to go, and this makes my head hurt.
Does this not kind of feel like the 2025 Kansas City Chiefs?
Oh, okay. Never mind. I thought you were about to talk about the Eagles again, and I was going to.
Oh, no. I'm talking about the Bandits. Doesn't this feel like the Chiefs, where they're the, they go on these runs. They've won multiple championships in a row, and every year we go in and we feel like the league's catching up to them, and then they find a way to prove like, hey, we're still the Bandits. Right now, it kind of feels like they're in that. This is a slump that's unprecedented for them.
I think it's a little different because I think the NFL's rigged. Well, so first off,
taking that part out of it.
Second, I also think Buffalo is still far better than that Chiefs team is that we've been seeing recently. Like, so basically what I'm saying is like, even though the Chiefs had won that Super Bowl, going into that next season, I did not feel like they were one of the best teams in the league. I feel like there were clear holes in their team, and teams.
Yeah, I'm saying like this year's Chiefs team that we watched that like missed the playoffs.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like Buffalo's going to miss the playoffs, but right now they would if the season ended today.
Right, but like going in, I don't think anybody felt like the Chiefs were still that dominant force. I feel like people saw the chinks in their armor and were like, "Hey, this Chiefs team isn't what we've seen before. They're going to struggle." Like, but before like week 4, none of us had that thought about Buffalo. We all thought they were still going to be this dominant team that people were going to have to, go out and prove that they were actually better than. And now we're seeing that there's some chinks and holes in that armor that people are taking advantage of. That's the only difference for me. Like the way that they're playing out, almost identical. But I just think the way that they're compromised makes it slightly different.
But I also think we recognize, the Chiefs lost players, whatever. Buffalo lost players, and I think we kind of put Buffalo colored glasses on when it came to that, where it was like, oh, they lost Kluch, they lost Chase. It sucks because that's, big depth for them, but they still have Josh, they still have Dane, and it's very similar with the Chiefs. It's like we still have Pat Mahomes, we still have Travis Kelce, we still have this defense, and, the Bandits were like, we still have Matt Vince, we still have, our guys, but they never replaced the guys that they lost. And that's also kind of harkens back to why I think Ethan Walker could be a plausible trade piece for them. They never replaced Chase and they never replaced Kluch. And, Tahoka has had moments this year, but he hasn't really filled those shoes completely. And he's also a very different player than those two guys. So I'm not like bashing Tahoka whatsoever. Like he's still doing his part. It's just they don't have those other two guys on the floor that they've had all these years, and they never replaced them to have their offense clicking on all cylinders. And that's where we find them now in a 4-game losing streak. And we talked about it last episode. Their schedule does not get easier. This week, they're at Halifax. Following week, they're at Vancouver on a short week. Then they're home against the Saskatchewan Rush in a back-to-back weekend where then they go to Toronto. And then they are home against the Mammoth. They're at San Diego. Then they're at Saskatchewan. Home against Vancouver. Home against Rochester. And then they're at Oshawa. I see maybe 2 wins in there the rest of the way. Just on paper alone. Like those, that is one of the toughest schedules down the stretch here. And that's why that Wings game was so paramount for them. And them losing it puts their season in a pretty big free fall. And if they lose this week at Halifax, I don't know, man. To go a gauntlet of at Vancouver, home to Saskatchewan, at Toronto as a back-to-back with that Saskatchewan game, home to Colorado, and then at San Diego, at Saskatchewan, home to Vancouver, home to Rochester, at Oshawa. Good luck.
Uphill battle. Uphill battle.
Pressure makes diamonds.
Or makes you fold.
Yep. Or you become sand.
You know what they say, it make diamonds, but it also busts pipes.
Yep. We'll see what happens with the Bandits if they become
Man, them pipes getting busted. Them pipes getting busted. I'm just saying, dog. Look at they've been getting busted already.
That's true.
They've been getting busted already.
That's true.
They are 3-5. When's the last time?
Losing streak.
Actually, this is unprecedented territory for this version of the podcast. This version of the podcast has never seen a below 500 Buffalo Bandits team.
I think the closest we came was 500 like a couple years ago, and then they went on their run.
Just saying here, like, they've been getting cracked. Them pipes busted, my boy.
There's a leak. Where's the leak, ma'am?
No, this ain't a leak. This the winter frozen pipes busted. Like, them things are it's an overflow of flooding right now. And they need to call a plumber after they shop vac that shit up.
That's Stranger Things with Nancy and Jonathan.
and all that goop. Yeah. Oh, wait. They're currently waiting for it to harden. They're in that scene where they're telling each other about everything that they wish they knew. That's where they are right now.
I hate the way this offense is playing. The defense isn't stepping up for us.
I hate that everybody wants to beat us so bad.
I hate it here. I want to go home.
Mom, can you come pick me up?
Mom, Vecna's taking over the world. Can you pick us up from the upside down? Oh, that's funny. Las Vegas 9, Georgia 12. Once again, Brett Dobson limits another team. They do not get to the double-digit threshold in goals scored. Lyle Thompson, 8 points in this game. Shane Jackson, 8 points in this game. Toron Eccleston, 4 points in this game. Caleb Benedict, 3 points in this game. Brian Cole, 2 goals. Mike Triolo signed with the Georgia Swarm. He scores in this one. I think that's a huge boost for them defensively. And you just had the contributions from your young guys once again. But again, Brett Dobson's the MVP of this league, man. He has had one game, and it was week 1 that a team scored double digits against him. And the rest of the way, it's been 9 or less. That motherfucker's going to have a whole soft serve machine in his house by the end of the season because he's getting ice cream every goddamn week.
Do you think he already has one? Or do you think he's a frozen yogurt guy?
Dude, he's probably got a McFlurry machine that
I was just about to say he feels like a McFlurry / Blizzard kind of guy.
That's the ethos of it.
Or a Culver's concrete mixer kind of guy.
That's the ethos. They all went to McDonald's. That's what Piper told us at Champ Series. They went to McDonald's and got McFlurries. That was the beginning of the everybody gets ice cream.
Also, why is Georgia not better? Legitimately, why are they not 8-1, if not 9-0? Why?
Well, the one game was the low. I think it's the lowest scoring game of the season. That 7-4 loss that they had to Saskatchewan. Which, sure.
Hello? No, not sure. Brett Dobson held the best offense in the league. The only one that is 8-1 to 7 goals, and you fucking lost.
Yeah, but you were playing the best team in the league, who are 8-1.
And my point stands. You held them to 7 goals. You couldn't score 8. You couldn't score 8. You couldn't even score 6 to maybe even force overtime at the end of the game.
To be fair, I'm not saying it's, excusable, but it was also week 3. So it was early enough in the season that
no, you had
bound to.
You had 2 or 3 scrimmages plus 2 regular season games, and you scored 4 goals in your 3rd regular season game. Nah,
I'm also not going to discredit Saskatchewan like that though.
That's not what I'm saying here. You're looking at it wrong. We know how good Saskatchewan is. This is, I guess. Am I upset that they didn't score 8 goals to win that game? Yes. But what I'm more upset about is the fact that you lost 2 other games after that when you were.
Well, they lost the first game. They lost the first game of the season to Buffalo 15-11. That was the one game.
Right. But
and then that's
what I mean, though.
The other loss they had was to Colorado 7-5 after they went belt to ass against Colorado 12-3 the week prior.
I can maybe give you the Colorado loss. Maybe you should have 2 losses this year. But based on how you played against Saskatchewan, you should be 8-1 right next to them. Because that realistically should be the only team you have lost to. That's all I'm saying. I feel like the offense isn't helping Brett Dobson out enough.
Well, I think they've found their stride now. Like, those young guys, like, are really stepping up in a big way. And, like, they're 6-3. Like, I think if you would have asked us at this point at the preseason, like, where at the halfway mark, would Georgia be 6-3? Would you take that if you're a Swarm fan? I think 99% of them would say yes.
I think 100% of them would say yes. I don't think they're expecting to be 6-3. Like, I'm not taking anything away from their season.
Well, I think the other 1% would be like, I want to be undefeated.
Facts. They probably sound like me saying, hey, our only loss should be Saskatchewan. So you know what? Yeah, I'm in that 1%. Exactly. That 1% is me. That 1% is me. and it makes total sense. Like, that's all I'm saying is, like, in an ideal world, they're 8-1 because that's the kind of lacrosse they have played. Realistically, there were a couple mishaps along the way that created that 6-3, but I mean, they seriously could be tied for the top of the NLL right now with the level of play they've gotten from Brett Dobson and a few others.
Which, I mean, hey, I don't think we predicted them to be at 6-3 and be in the top 4 at this point in the season with how much roster turnover they had of just young guys. You know, they move on from Andrew Q. That was like a big shocker. Connor Kelly's not playing, so it's like, what are they going to do offensively? And on top of that, Michael Grace has been a Rookie of the Year candidate, full stop. Like, he's been unbelievable for them, and they have a great coach. They have a Hall of Fame type coach. So it's like Georgia is finding their way, and Adam Levy tweeted it the other day. They're on pace to host a home playoff game for the first time since the first year of this podcast in 2018, 2019. Every other year they've been in the playoffs, they've been the road team. So they're on track to be a home playoff game in Georgia for the first time in 8 years. 7 years.
You said 8 years?
8 seasons, like 7 years, because the playoffs were 2019 that year.
Too bad I hate Georgia. Well, I don't hate Georgia. I wasn't even talking about the team. I was talking about the state as a whole. It's hot. I can't breathe down there. So many people, the traffic. It's a lot. So I ain't going to make it to y'all playoff game. But I hope that y'all have a great time if y'all host one.
But yeah, hell of a game there for Georgia. Jonathan Donville continues to be the MVP of the Desert Dogs in my book. And that's just Desert Dogs lacrosse, man. They're the most they are slowly but surely joining the Jekyll and Hyde category that the Halifax Thunderbirds have full-blown residency in my book.
I don't see that. I just see a really good offense that gives their team a chance every single game. And it's just a matter of what version of the defense shows up. Is it one that's going to give them a couple of stops and get them a win? Or is it one that's going to let basically the other team have whatever opportunities they want? That's what I see when I watch Vegas play. Is an offense that can light it up and score with anybody in the league. But at the end of the day, their defense can't make enough stops for them to get momentum to win a game. And if you get the bad version of your defense, it's going to be a really bad night for you.
Yeah, I'm just looking at like their and also, not that it's an excuse or anything, but like Chase Frazier did not play in this game. He was out with injury. So I wonder what this game would look like if Chase was healthy and playing. It would be a very fun, like, revisionist game. But Mitch Jones held goalless. He had 3 assists. Kluch went 1 and 2. Patra went 3 assists. Kyle Killen had a hat trick, took 11 shots on goal, so like he stepped up. Donville had 5 points, 3 goals, 2 assists, but just not enough offense and not enough back end stopping there. They won the faceoff battle with ease, 18 faceoff wins for Vegas, but not enough goal scoring and not enough goal stopping for the Desert Dogs. San Diego and Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan said, fuck DJ's rule of going scoreless. We're still going to win a game. They went scoreless in the first, went on to score 12 goals the rest of the game.
The question is, did the other side also go scoreless at one point
Nope.
in this game? Okay. This is the first anomaly to my rule.
I think it might be the second. There was one other. I forget what team it was.
We talked, but no, because that game we talked about it because there was someone on the other team also went scoreless in a quarter, so they canceled each other out. So it's basically like they played a 3-quarter game. I do remember that though. I think it was last week.
Robert Church. There was one early in the season too, but I think it was the same scenario. Robert Church, 8 points in this game, 4 goals, 4 assists, 12 shots on goal. I mean, he's also got to be in the offensive player of the year category for sure. He's been unbelievable. Connor Robinson led the way for San Diego, 6 points in this game. But you're not going to win many games if you're San Diego when you give the Saskatchewan Rush 11 power play opportunities.
Yeah,
that almost nullifies Saskatchewan going scoreless. It's like, here's the trade-off. Here's 11 power play chances for you, and they went 6 for 11 on the power play. This could have been a much worse game if they went even better than they did on the power play in this one. 23 penalty minutes for San Diego.
I mean, discipline. You got to be disciplined. You can't give any team in the NLL 11 power plays. It doesn't matter who it is. I mean, a team like Saskatchewan is dangerous. So, that heightens that feeling. But you can't give 11 power plays to Calgary. Calgary would beat you at 11 power plays. Vegas would beat you at 11 power plays, damn it. You take the worst team in the league, you give them 11 power plays, you are bound to lose that game. Especially if their goalie's going to save 40 of 49. That's insane. And Chris O'Riggs didn't have a bad game. O'Riglieri saved 30 of 41 shots. In a lot of games, that gets you a win. But when you give up 6 goals on 11 power play opportunities, they're going to score goals in the even strength. You're making it hard for your team to win that game. And that's what you see. I think it's still hilarious that Zach Currier's picture has not been updated. He's still in a Roughnecks jersey from a couple of years ago. He has been on Vegas for a season and a half now, or San Diego for a season and a half now. Why does he not have a San Diego picture? Ari Steenhouse doesn't have a picture at all. I don't know what's going on with this roster right now. But
hey, I'll give credit to the NLL website. I'll give credit. They finally have full-blown stats, fully updated. So we can look at stats on their website.
Yes. They made some changes there, and some other places we still need help. But yeah, I mean, the thing here is you can't afford to give a team like Saskatchewan a chance to get back into the game. You had more than their backs against the wall when you had them down 4-0 going into the second, and you just gave them opportunity after opportunity to climb back in. Can't have it.
Yeah, not ideal, but hell of a game for Saskatchewan to bounce back. Because I was coming home from, where was I when this game happened? This was last Saturday. What was I doing? Oh, I was calling high school basketball. And I got home and I looked at the ESPN app to just see the scores, and I was like, "What that?" I think it was 6-2 or something when I checked, and I was like, "What is going on in San Diego?" And then I see Saskatchewan ends up winning after I got all settled in and everything, and I was like, "All right." I wasn't taking too many crazy pills, but I was blown away. I was like, "Holy shit, San Diego's up by how much?" Hell of a fight though from the Seals, that's for damn sure. And then Rochester, Vancouver, game of the weekend. It was 13-7 at halftime. Vancouver up. Rochester fights to pull within one, but just not enough there. Again, you can't give up too many power play opportunities to a team like Vancouver. 7 power plays, and they go 5 for 7. Rochester dominated the face-off battle. Connor Fields did his part. 10 points in this game, 5 goals. 5 assists. Ryan Lanchberry had 7 assists in this game. Fields, he had 20 shots on goal, but when you give a lead like that to a team like Vancouver that has, seasoned veterans. Not that Rochester doesn't, but when you have the team chemistry there and Keegan Ball gives you 11 points, Jesse King gives you 9 points, Curtis Dixon has 7 goals and 8 points in this game. It's a tough hill to climb, and, kudos to Rochester's offense for putting up a 15 spot on a guy like Christian Del Bianco. That's a rare feat. But yeah, not ideal to lose back-to-back, because now Vancouver definitively has the tiebreaker over Rochester if they were to climb back up in the standings, and Rochester's at 500 now.
Yeah, Rochester's on a little bit of a slide right now. I don't think there's anything like major alarms going off. I don't think there's like one key thing to point at. They just had a rough couple of games against some really good teams. I think that's the other thing is, like, when you look back at this skid, like, they're playing teams that are going to be in the playoffs. Sometimes
both
it's hard
of
to
these
beat.
losses back-to-back were to Vancouver.
There's that, and then, it's just playing playoff teams is hard. Playing the same team twice in a row is hard. Beating a team
Especially
twice
after
is hard.
the pregame antics that occurred.
Yes. That was this time? Or was that the first game?
That was, during the game antics was the first game.
Right, I meant the pre. The pre was before this game, right?
I think so. Was that? Am I
feel
thinking
like
of the right teams?
I feel like that just happened. Yeah, no, it's these two teams.
Because it was Jackson Subak who was with.
Subak. Because Zed got into it with somebody, but it wasn't like super big. Like, they kind of just like pushed each other and said a few words and then like separated each other. Or got separated because
Vancouver
Malosky
was definitely
right
involved because Malosky still had his coffee in hand.
Yeah, exactly. Pushing people out the way. He's like this. Move. Separate. You go over there. You go over here.
Yeah,
please.
Subak and Tyler Biles.
Mm-hmm. And I do want to say, I agree with my boy Adam. For the most part, as y'all know, I'm like anti everything everybody says, and I'm always finding like some little reason to like go the opposite way. Not with this. Adam's 100% right. This should not happen with kids on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that things don't get out of control sometimes, not saying the kids shouldn't be out there, but I think the players have to be aware of where they are, who's around, and how to act in certain situations. Do I think the pregame scuffle is wrong? No. Do I think something might have been said or done that warranted this? Absolutely. But I think one of those two players has to take a second, take a deep breath, and scan the floor one time and go, this might not be the time to do this. And then just separate themselves and get their get back during the game or whatever. Let it be and go back to it another time. But all I'm thinking about is coach brain. The L word. Liability. The league would have had a serious liability issue if one of those kids got hit.
Yeah.
Or a worse injury, right? Like that is immediately where my mind went to when he said that, was the liability of the league if something were to have happened to one of those kids during that incident. That is why that can't happen.
Team and league, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the team's going to be wrapped in that umbrella. Even if they went just at the league's going to be like, hold on. I mean, yeah, we're the league, but the individual team is really at fault here. They probably would have gone at both of those teams, honestly. I don't even think it would have been one.
They would have had a case for both teams.
The individual
players involved, the league, just in general. Like that's a huge thing. And like Jordy wrote a great blog on Barstool's website about it too. Definitely go check that out. Shout out to the boy. But yeah, 100%, like, just can't happen. Like, I don't care if you got beef, like, that's fine. Like, I'm all about like fights in the NLL happening. It's, tensions get high, especially between these two teams after what happened the week prior. But you just can't have that happen pregame around kids. Like, that's just the close-up photo, like, of how close that one kid came to getting clocked is not ideal.
But it is kind of funny because that screenshot looks like he was trying to jump in.
Man,
And bro was cocked like
let
this.
me at him.
I was like,
let me at him.
Bro said, I need the action.
The NLL legal team was like, well, I don't really know about that.
Can we scrub this from the internet?
I don't really be getting into pregame fights like that, so I'm going to have to say no. Yeah, I mean, looking at Rochester's upcoming schedule, too, their next 4, they're home against Ottawa this weekend. They're home against Saskatchewan in 2 weeks. Then they are home to your Calgary Roughnecks. Then they're at Vegas, home against Vegas. That's their next 5. And then they're at Oshawa, at Halifax, at Buffalo, at Georgia, and then home to Georgia to round out their season. So still some room for improvement there. There's some winnable games on the schedule, but it's not like it's an easy cakewalk the rest of the way for Rochester. But they got to, find their stride here upcoming. But looking at the standings here after week 11, we've got Saskatchewan still at the top at 8-1. Their goal differential is so impressive. 114 goals for, 86 goals against. Colorado's at 6-2. Vancouver's at 6-2. Georgia's at 6-3. Toronto's at 5-3. Ottawa's at 5-5. Vegas is 4-4. Rochester 4-4. San Diego 4-4. Halifax 3-5. Buffalo 3-5. Philly is 2-6. Oshawa is 2-8, and Calgary is 1-7. The fewest goals against is impressive too this season. It's Colorado, which we've sung Dylan Ward's praises all season. Brett Dobson. Those 2 teams, Colorado and Georgia, have only allowed 71 goals. Vancouver's at 75. Halifax is at 80. Toronto's at 82, and that's a credit to them. Troy Halichuk stepping in for Rosie being out, and still maintaining that goal differential. Saskatchewan's at 86. San Diego's at 90. Buffalo's at 95, and Philly's at 97. Those are the teams that have allowed 100 or less than 100 goals on the season. Also, breaking news, Deej. He already followed us on Instagram, but we just got the follow from Max Krebsky on Twitter. Shout out to the boy.
Yeah, Krebs. What up, gang?
Shout out to the boy. We'll definitely be seeing him at Champ Series. So, Krev, come on the pod. Shout out to the boy. Our NLL wrap-up there brought to you by our friends over at Buff. Guys, we're huge Buff fans because we're huge Survivor fans. It's where we got introduced to Buff, Deej and I. You can get your officially licensed Survivor buffs and make sure you're protected from all the elements all year round, whether it's snow, heat, wind. They're making sure you're protected when you're outdoors. Use our link in the description. Shop with our friends at Buff. Get your officially licensed Survivor buffs and protect yourself from all the weather all year round with our friends at Buff. Looking ahead, Deej, to this weekend, we've got games, 1 on Friday, a loaded slate on Valentine's Day, no love lost, and then we've got a nightcap, 8 Eastern on Sunday, involving your Calgary Roughnecks. But our schedule looks like this. Friday night, 10:30 Eastern, Colorado at Vegas, the return of Jack Hanna to Las Vegas. That should be pretty spicy. Then we get a beautiful Valentine's Day rivalry. Buffalo at Halifax at 6:30 on Saturday. Ottawa at Rochester at 7 Eastern. San Diego at Oshawa at 7 Eastern. Vancouver at Saskatchewan at 8 Eastern. 9 Eastern, Philadelphia at Calgary. 9:30 Eastern, Toronto at Colorado. And then on Sunday, that 8 Eastern game, Georgia at Calgary. This is a beautiful, beautiful slate of games. Rivalries galore. Loaded Valentine's Day slate. And I love a ton of these games.
I mean, good thing I don't have plans this weekend since Calgary plays twice and Michigan basketball plays this weekend too. Because I'm just going to be watching lacrosse basically all weekend. The college slate is crazy. This NLL slate, crazy. And there's tons of good games this weekend. I mean, a lot of these matchups are extremely intriguing for different reasons.
which ones are standing out to you? This for the first time in a while. There's like a number of games just like speaking to me.
So first off, this is for you. So you can hold that.
Be careful. Be careful.
You can hold this.
Let it be known.
It's Ops Week. So you can hold this. This is all for you. Obviously, that one's poking out at me. I would love for us to get our get back against Georgia. So those two games automatically, obviously, the top of my list. I really like Vancouver and Saskatchewan. Two of the top couple teams in the league really going at it. That's probably the marquee matchup for Saturday. And then Colorado, Las Vegas. I really like with Jack going back, obviously, for the first time. And I think the other one for me is Buffalo, Halifax. More from is this the nail in the coffin for Buffalo? Can Halifax get it done? If Halifax gets it done, Buffalo is in trouble.
Yeah. Colorado, Vegas stands out to me. Like those two offenses going at it is going to be incredible. Buffalo, Halifax, like this is a crossroads not just for Buffalo but for Halifax too. These two teams are at the same spot in the standings right now. They're both 3-5. This is a game in hand type of game. Whoever wins this will have a tiebreaker. This is a huge game for both of those teams and like the trajectories for their seasons. Ottawa, Rochester is fascinating to me. Can Rochester get back on track? Hartley suspended this week. The NLLPA dropped their appeal, so he is out this week. I saw Adam Levy put a stat out. Ottawa is 9-1 in their last 10 games when Jeff Teat records at least 9 points, including I think 7 straight.
Wow,
which is
I didn't know that.
That's a hell of a stat.
Well, the fact that he's putting up that many that often is wild.
Right. It's just crazy. He's Captain Canuck right there. I got to find the direct stat. He quote tweeted one of the run out clips about Jeff Teat with it. He's I want to read it verbatim so we don't sound silly. Yeah, Ottawa's 9-1 in their last 10 games that Jeff Teat scores 9 or more points, including winning their last 7 games when that happens.
It's insane.
It's a hell of a stat and a hell of a job by Jeff Teat putting up those numbies. So like you've got that. If Jeff Teat pops off against hypothetical, we know Riley Hutchcraft is a quality NLL goalie, but he's technically their backup. If Jeff Teat goes off against a backup goalie and, is able to put up those points, does that streak continue? Can Rochester right the ship after 2 straight losses to a playoff team? Both of those teams are 500 in the standings, so another crossroads type of game. Saskatchewan and Vancouver is just cinema. That game is going to be fucking bonkos. 2 great goaltenders, elite offenses, Western Canada rivalry. It's going to be absurd. And if Vancouver finds a way to win that game, like, holy shit. Like, now we're talking like those are the 2 talks of the town in the NLL as a whole. Mm-hmm. Philly-Calgary is going to be one hell of a game because I was on the Lacrosse Matrix this week. We were talking about Calgary a little bit, and I said, or Adam brought up, like, Calgary's 1-7, but they don't feel like a 1-7 team the way that they play. And Philly is where they're at, but they don't feel like, they should be 2-6. So this is a big game for both of those teams. If Philly puts it together and wins 2 in a row, what does that mean for, the trajectory of their season? If Calgary finally bucks the trend and gets a win in the win column there, what does that do for their season? That's another huge This is the week of Crossroads. Week 12 is Crossroads week. I'm officially dubbing it the Crossroads week. Toronto and Colorado is going to be fascinating. Colorado coming off of a road trip to Vegas, going home to play Toronto, fully rested. How does that shake out? And then Georgia and Calgary. Calgary having to play 2 games at home this weekend, so that's a benefit there, but it is a true back-to-back, just like Colorado's is, but that's going to be less than 24 hours later. They're going to be playing against Georgia, and that offense having to figure out Brett Dobson is going to be wild. This is Crossroads. Welcome to Crossroads Week, everybody. This is Crossroads Week. Week 12, mid-season.
Crossroads.
We're at the crossroads of the season. This is a perfect Week 12 slate because it's truly mid-season. We are at the crossroads for all of these teams.
You might be in trouble. My favorite number 12. And y'all on the y'all on the schedule in Week 12. We finna.
Hey, what we'll they see. Say?
We'll see.
What did you give me to hold? What did I say about 12?
Fuck them. I hear you. I hear you. Hey, I'm just letting you know I'm not the least bit confident in the fact that Calgary will win either one of these games this week.
Yeah, that's a tough back.
The only thing I'm confident in is that they will give me the belief that they will. That I'm very confident.
That's valid.
In. I think I'm going to be in the middle of the third quarter of both of these games and go, wow, they might actually win. And then proceed to crash out for the next quarter and a half. So it's fine.
Before we get to Riverside Game of the Week and our picks, the midseason fan MVP votes came out. Sure, Jeff T, overwhelming favorite for MVP at 53%. I get it's an offensive award. Brett Dobson's the MVP, man. He got 28% of the vote. I do like the third place, Andrew Q, 19% of the vote. I do like that. He has been an MVP caliber player for Colorado to kind of pick that offense going. Rookie of the year. This is crazy to me. I get Nolan Burns been great. Michael Grace has to be in this conversation too. Like, what are we doing? CJ Kurse, the overwhelming favorite, 60% of the vote. Nolan Burn, 23%. Owen Hilt, 17%. Offensive player of the year. Ryan Keenan, 38% of the vote. Keegan Ball, 34% of the vote. Our guy, Simmer, 27% of the vote.
Solid.
Midseason Depoy. Callum Jones, 38% of the vote for Ottawa. Robert Hope, 34% of the vote for Colorado. And then our guy, Michael Grace, 28% of the vote.
Okay, Gracie.
Transition player of the year, midseason vote. Mike Messenger, 43% of the vote. Zach Currier, 40%. Brian Cole, 17%. I don't really have a qualm there.
I say none of these are really awesome, surprising.
Yeah, like these are all from a fan vote perspective.
Yeah, these are all tracking. I just don't like the MVP.
Goaltender of the year, Brett Dobson, 51% of the vote. Christian Del Bianco, 30%. Dylan Ward, 19%.
Okay, are you along the lines of, like, if one player gets one award, then somebody else from that position should get the position award?
I'm very open to that.
I like that idea a lot more.
Unless it's, like, overwhelming, where it's like...
Yeah. Like I mean, this situation, I think you could easily put Dauber as both. But I wouldn't be, like, shocked if they were like, oh, we're going to give goaltender of the year to Christian Del Bianco or Frank Skiggs because we gave MVP to Brett Dobson.
Or Dylan Ward.
Right.
Coach of the year. Derek Keenan from Saskatchewan, 39% of the vote. Kurt Malosky, 32% of the vote. Ed Camo from Georgia, 29% of the vote. I'm leaning... Like, I know Derek Keenan's been on a heater and Saskatchewan's been on a heater. Ed Camo should have a little bit more motion there. He's had Georgia buzzing.
Oh, more than buzzing. More than buzzing. All pun intended.
It was the mid-season fan-voted awards there. But, Deej, your Riverside Game of the Week brought to you by our friends at Riverside.
My personal game of the week, it's Opsweek. That's the one I want to win more than any of them. I want to watch that game, and I want Calgary to win. I think everybody should watch that game because we're going to be watching it tighter than anybody else will be. But the true game of the weekend for me, Vancouver, Saskatchewan, and then I really think Buffalo, Halifax is a close second. I know neither one of those teams has played to the ability that people are expecting them to this year, but they hate each other naturally. So I think that exists for probably the end of time, and it definitely places fuel behind that matchup. So that should be an exciting match, especially with Buffalo knowing that their backs are against the wall, and Halifax kind of has the ability to almost put them away for the season while adding to their resume to get into the playoffs. I really like that matchup a lot.
Yeah, my game of the week is Vancouver, Saskatchewan. That game is money. I'm gonna be locked in, dialed in. I ain't got no Valentine. I'm loving up on some lacrosse this weekend. Fuck you mean.
Big game.
Runner up for me is Colorado Vegas. Jack Hanna returns to Vegas. Those two offenses. See how Vegas's offense tries to figure out Dylan Ward, but those games to me are money in the bank for sure. And those are our Riverside games of the week, brought to you by Riverside, our official recording and editing software here at Underground Industries. Genuinely made the switch. I hopped on a call actually this week, Deej, with our guy Jackson Van Vlake, Utah Archer super fan. He's just getting things started with Riverside and was looking into just the process of it and doing some big things in his bag that I'm very excited for him. And he's used our Riverside link to get started. And if you're looking to start a project, video project, podcast, webinars, Riverside is the place to do it. It's all encompassing. It makes things so easy. They have 24/7 on-hand support as well if you need help with things. It's changed the game for us in so many ways. Use our link in the description to get your project started today with Riverside, and don't look back, because genuinely Riverside is the go-to in the industry. And we thank Riverside for being a proud partner of the podcast and the official editing software and recording software of Underground Industries. Use that link. Get started with Riverside. Which now we go to the pick pond and dish out our picks of the week, brought to you by Kenwood Beer, the official beer partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. It is a refreshing light beer, just 4.1% ABV, 120 calories, just 8 grams of carbs. You can go to kenwoodbeer.com, use the Kenny Finder to see who's got Kenwood Beer on tap in the Philadelphia, New Jersey, Pittsburgh, Maryland, Delaware areas. You can also find Kenwood Beer at your local liquor stores, convenience stores, and grocery stores in those markets. Just use that Kenny Finder at kenwoodbeer.com. And guess what, Deej? They just restocked the Citywide U hoodie, available at kenwoodbeer.com. Their shop. That thing is thangin'. I love the Citywide logo. It's like the Kenwood Beer cartoon mascot. It's just super clean. And you can get it now. It's in stock. Get it while you can. The Citywide U hoodie, back, independent trading brand. It fits true to size. KenwoodBeer.com. Must be 21 or older to do so. And as always, guys, please drink responsibly. We had a pretty solid week in picks last week, Deej, across the board. Not too shabby. We're still rocking and rolling, but going into this week, we start Colorado at Vegas. How do you see this one shaking out?
This one is, I think, a little closer than some people may think. I think Vegas, like I said, that offense is really good. Granted, Dylan Ward has played great this year, but that offense, they score with the best. And they have guys that can score. Their defense is where their problems come in. Their goaltending has been choppy as well. I think that Vegas brings some energy into this game. They're going to be at home. They feel, a certain way with Jack Hanna leaving and all these things. But at the end of the day, I think Dylan Ward is the difference. And I'm going to take Colorado.
Yeah, I'm going Colorado as well. Dylan Ward is that difference for me. Palo Alto has been great at the stripe, too, for them. So that's going to be a fun matchup between him and Connor Kirst. And we don't have injury reports out yet. I don't know how long Chase Frazier's out. That's a huge loss for that Vegas offense. And Colorado's just buzzing right now. Andrew Q's been great. Jack Hanna's been phenomenal. And you're telling me you get to get a Jack Hanna with a chip on his shoulder to go into Vegas and showcase what they're missing? Sign me up. I'm going Colorado. Hoots is also going with Colorado.
Shocker. So congratulations, Las Vegas.
We go to Buffalo at Halifax. Hoots is going with Halifax, although he said he initially was going with Buffalo, but on our picks graphic, he put Halifax, and he's going with Halifax. Deej, who do you got in this matchup? A no-love lost Valentine's Day showdown.
I gotta go Halifax. I think they are really leaning on that ability to shut down Buffalo for the season and kind of put a real dagger in their season, give them that 6th loss, and really make them have to worry about some of the games that they have coming up. I also think it helps that they're playing at home, and this is a rivalry. So I got Halifax taking the win here.
I'm also going with Halifax. It's a Crossroads game. It's not going to surprise me if Buffalo wins, but Buffalo's on a 4-game losing streak. Until they can snap that and prove that they can win on a consistent basis, I'm going to rock with the home team. So I'm going with Halifax to get the dub. We go to Ottawa and Rochester. At Rochester for this game. Hoots is going with the Nighthawks. Deej, who do you got in this one?
I'm also going with the Nighthawks. I do think Ottawa is going to make this game very fun. I do think Rochester has been struggling, but they're home. And being home plays a factor in this. Losing 2 games in a row to the same team starts to bother you a little bit. And to me, I think they see this as an opportunity to play a good team that isn't as good as some of the teams that they've lost to recently, and is still a way for them to get back in the groove of things and measure where they really are amongst the other teams in the league. But there's been some struggles for that offense that I don't think persist, and they're able to figure that part out and grab a victory.
Yeah, I'm going with Ottawa in this one. That Jeff Teat stat stands out to me, and when you're going up against your quote-unquote backup goaltender for Rochester there, and they've kind of been on this slide here. I don't know. Something about Ottawa's just speaking to me in this game, and I don't know if it's just because they unveiled their Marvel uniforms for this season that they'll be wearing later on in the year, and it's Deadpool themed. But Jeff Teat's just been on a heater, and if Jeff Teat gets going, history tells you that the Ottawa Black Bears win. So I'm going to go with Ottawa to get a win and continue surging towards a playoff spot. We go to San Diego and Oshawa. You guys already know where I'm at. San Diego. Oshawa until they're on my no pick list right now. I can't trust them. Hoots is also going with San Diego.
I am also going with San Diego. Have we picked separate of each other at all yet?
Yes, I picked Ottawa.
You just did pick Ottawa? Okay. I was listening, but I wasn't. I'm sorry. Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better about this week.
Yeah, I picked Ottawa.
But yeah, you're in my opinion, I think that even though Chris O'Riglieri is still finding his way with this season, that will pose some problems for San Diego. Oshawa is in that dangerous territory that really only one other team is in at this moment. I just can't put them in that category.
Yeah.
I'm not putting Calgary in that category, and I never will. But I could see how anybody else could say, yeah, I'm not picking them until they give me a reason to pick them.
We go to my Riverside game of the week. It is Vancouver at Saskatchewan. I'm going with the Rush. Again, until they prove to me that they are not pickable, they're at home for this game too. They're just playing the best team ball in the league by far. I'm going with Saskatchewan to get the win.
I want to start by saying Saskatchewan is easily one of the best teams in the league, if not literally the best. They're getting unreal play from Robert Church, Zach Mans, and many other people on that offense. The defense has been great. Frank Skiggs, top 3 goalie. They have all the pieces. Derek Keenan, now that he's not doing 1,000 things at once, he's just coaching like he knows how to coach. Like, this team has figured out how to put it all together, and it looks phenomenal. It makes some of the things I said early season and preseason look fantastic. Vancouver has also been playing very, very, very well as of recent.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that makes that scary is those dudes know each other. they've been playing together for years. So they know, like, all right, this is that time. We're in that mode. We're grinding. We're balling. Let's just keep our foots on the gas. Let's keep going. Don't let up. And that's a hard team to play against when they're playing like that. Christian Del Bianco, back playing ball that we saw him play a couple of years ago when Calgary was making pushes into try and win the NLL Cup. That makes this game extremely exciting, but I do have to err on the side of caution and take the team that's 8-1 because they're 8-1 for a reason. I'll take Saskatchewan as well.
Yeah, I'm going with the Rush. Hoots is going with Vancouver. So he's taking the Warriors there. So we got different picks there, so that makes this game even more so my Riverside game of the week. We go to Philly and Calgary. Hoots is going with Calgary, Deej.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, okay. Look at him, giving some belief in the boys. You know where I'm going.
You know where I'm going. I'm going with Philly. I'm going with Philly.
One of us going to win, one of us not.
I like what I saw from the Wings offense last week against Buffalo, in Buffalo, a hostile environment, and you've openly said it on the show. That Calgary goaltending and back end is not just there yet. And if the Wings can take advantage of that, I think this is a good spot for them to continue stacking wins and go 2 in a row. I'm going to go with the Wings. You and Hoots have Calgary. We go to Toronto at Colorado. Hoots is going with the Mammoth.
I'm also going with the Mammoth. I don't know why. I just am. Scratch that. They're at the Loud House. That's why. I do think Toronto has a slight advantage with the fact that they didn't play the day before. They're not, but they are traveling. They're not now. Colorado isn't traveling as far as Toronto, but they played the night before. I think that to some extent matters, but this game starts almost, or this game might start at the literally 24 hours after that one. In terms of like how their bodies are working, I don't know where Colorado falls in time zones compared to Vegas.
Mountain time,
which is 2 hours behind us, and I think Vegas is 3 in Pacific time. I think they're Pacific.
Yes.
So yes, this game is starting 24 hours after the last one started. Or excuse me, no, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
23 hours. But still, basically 24 whole hours. They get a whole day, but it almost makes me want to change my pick, but I picked Colorado in the Loud House for a reason, so I'll keep it.
Yeah, I'm taking Colorado as well. I don't know. I just like the way they're playing. They're like the 1A best team in the league. However you want to dice it up, they're in that S tier for me, so I'm going Colorado. And then we go to the final game of the weekend, Georgia at Calgary. I got to go with MVP Brett Dobson. I just got to go with Georgia there. Hoots is also going with Georgia. Deej?
I'm not. I'm going with Calgary. Y'all know my rules, man. I can't say no. It's arguably the only reason I'm not above 500 in this season.
Now
it's because I keep picking Calgary.
I do have this in front of me right now. Let me know if any of these things change your picks. I have the injury report because we're recording this on Friday afternoon. In terms of picks here, Kyle Pepper is questionable. Bennett Smith is out for Calgary. Kyle Buchanan is questionable for Buffalo. Colorado, Owen Down, Will Malcolm, Connor Cook are all questionable. Brett Craig is out. Georgia has no injuries to report on. Halifax, no new updates. Hogarth and Trevor Smith are both out. Vegas, Connor Kirst is questionable. Chase Frazier, Sean Wesley, Tyson Gibson out. For Oshawa, Andrew Kidd out. Andrew Kidd questionable. For Ottawa, Jay Thornbear out. Vaughn Harris doubtful. Philadelphia, Chris Corbeil questionable. Mitchell Armstrong, Dustin Burkhoff, Blaze Reardon out. Rochester, Brad McCulley is out. Ryland Reese is doubtful. For San Diego, Corey Small, Cam Accione, James Barclay questionable. Matt Wright out. Trent DeChico, questionable. Pat Cavanaugh, out. Saskatchewan, Holden Garland, Matt Accione, both questionable. For Toronto, Nick Rose, Justin Martin, Chris Ware, TD Ireland, all out. Sam English is questionable. And for Vancouver, Jeff Cornwall is questionable. Ryan Martell is out. Does that change any of your picks?
No.
I did hesitate when I saw Pat Cav was out, but I still am taking San Diego.
Yeah, I'm still going to rock with him. I think Trey LeClaire and Westberg have been phenomenal leading that offense.
Yeah. So there you have it. Our picks. Hoots has Colorado, Halifax, San Diego, Rochester, Vancouver, Calgary, Colorado, Georgia. I have Colorado, Halifax, Ottawa, San Diego, Saskatchewan, Philly, Colorado, Georgia. Deej, you have Colorado, Halifax, Rochester, San Diego, Saskatchewan, Calgary, Colorado, Calgary. And those are your NLL Week 12 Crossroads Week picks of the week, brought to you by Kenwood Beer. A little bit of crossover day in the life news that we posted, and it's going to kind of going a little crazy on the tweet machine. Former Boston Cannon, former New York Lizards second-round pick, LSM Mike Pellegrino, has been hired by the Philadelphia Eagles as their next defensive back coach. That comes from Matt Zenitz of CBS Sports. Pellegrino, he was a second-round pick in the 2015 MLL Draft by the Lizards, and then went on to play for the Cannons in his second season. He was also a two-time captain, two-time All-American at Johns Hopkins. He's coming over from the Bills, but prior to his time with Buffalo, he spent a majority of his coaching career with the New England Patriots under Bill Belichick. So this all makes sense as to why a lacrosse player is in the news there, and he was coaching for old Billy B. But pretty cool. Mike Pellegrino, now Philadelphia Eagles coach and a former MLL player, former All-American at Johns Hopkins, and lacrosse is just everywhere.
Yes, lacrosse is literally everywhere, and it's amazing. But I didn't get a chance to see Pellegrino play at all, but I know about his work in the coaching realm. So he's done a great job in making a name for himself there. But I mean, homie was an LSM, so Poles unite. Where my boy Brian at? Like we always feel a little bit different about Poles, and like also when you look at football and cornerbacks, and you look at LSMs and short stick D mids and lacrosse, a lot of those movements and things are very similar. So it doesn't shock me that he's a cornerbacks coach when you think about the experience he has playing sports and the positions he played and that such. They translate very well. So I'm excited to see the work he's going to do with the Eagles over there. I think you guys have a great chance and are getting a great guy that will fit right in. I mean, Philly is a sports town, and it doesn't really matter what sport it is. Just so happens that there's a great lacrosse community already there. I'm sure tons of people in the area already know about Pellegrino and his time in the league, his time playing lacrosse, and now they're going to get to know him as an Eagles guy, which is just insanity because those people are insane.
Yeah, I mean, he's my age too. He's only 32. He already has double-digit years of NFL coaching experience, and some of the corners that he's coached, Deej, are like world-class. He has coached the likes of Christian Gonzalez, J.C. Jackson, Stephon Gilmore, and now he's going to be able to coach Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean.
Twin?
What up, Twin?
The Twin? No, I think he's going to be great. I think when you look back at his career, like you said, you mentioned some guys that have done some amazing things in the NFL and have great accolades attached to their names, and he's a part of their success, or might even be the sole I won't say sole reason, but a large reason for their success at that level. So, he's bringing that into an organization that is used to success, is looking for more success, and has a standard. And I believe he fits that standard and is ready to help that standard rise. I really like this move. Anybody who has played any significant amount of time on a lacrosse field in the professional or the international ranks deserves to have this kind of position. And I think he's going to run away with it.
There's an Eagles fan account that tagged a bunch of other Eagles fans accounts and said, "Develop Gonzo and Gilmore. I'm fucking shaking." When he coached the Bills, Stephon Gilmore won Defensive Player of the Year.
Oh, that year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Also coached Jonathan Jones, Marcus Jones, and like I said, J.C. Jackson, Stephon Gilmore, and Christian Gonzalez, who I think is one of the best corners in the league, too. He's unbelievable. So now he gets to link up with Quinyanamo Bay and Cooper DeJean. It's going to be absolute cinema. I'm excited for that. So welcome to Philly, Mike Pellegrino. If you want to come on this show, talk some ball, talk some lacrosse, we are open to it.
More than
come on
open.
Underground Sports Philadelphia anytime, talk some ball, talk some lacrosse, we are open to it. But yeah, I'm stoked about the hire. It seems like a home run hire for Vic Fangio's defense. I was going to bring something else up to you. Oh, I know you guys will definitely be recapping it on the college show, but marquee matchup tonight, 6 p.m., number 1 versus number 2. Our guy Joey Spallina, Will Schaller, who's getting a ton of hype, potentially being a Boston Cannons draft pick prospect. Number 1 Maryland, number 2 Syracuse, 6 Eastern tonight. Deej, your thoughts?
This might be one of the. I won't say might. This will be one of the best lacrosse games of the year in terms of college ball. This is one of the best early season matchups we will get. And it's great that this is being played on Friday. It's viewable for those of you who have ESPN Plus. It will be on ACC Network. So those who have the ability to stream this game or watch this game, please do so because you're going to see a lot of great lacrosse. I think you have two teams who have expectations not only for themselves, but outside expectations to be at Memorial Day weekend. They're expected to be in that Final Four, in those semis, or even the championship game, maybe against each other based on, their rosters, how people feel about them, the success they've had the last couple of years. So this very easily could be a championship day or championship weekend preview, but it also could set the tone for their next couple of weeks. If one of these teams comes in and gets blown out or blows the other out, that could send their seasons in two different ways. If it's a close game, maybe both of them feel great, and this is a springboard for both their seasons to be extremely successful. This game holds a lot of weight, even though it is extremely early in the season.
Yeah, it's like marquee, get your popcorn ready type matchup. Shout out to Joey Spallina. Shout out Will Schaller. They're going to be slam dunk first-round picks in the upcoming PLL draft, too. I saw our guy, Dan Arestia, was on the Boston Battery podcast talking to them and talking about potential, draft picks with the defense because obviously our guy Bryce Young retired, so they're looking for things. And Dan mentioned, obviously on top of Schaller, you would have had Bobby Van Buren in the mix had he not torn his ACL, but now it feels like Schaller should be and probably will be the pick there for the Boston Cannons in this 2026 college draft.
The only reason he wouldn't be is because there are so many defensemen coming out in this draft. Cullen Brown is available in this draft. Bobby Van Buren is available in this draft.
Bobby might be either lower in the draft because of injury, or he might go back to school with eligibility potentially.
Injury or not, Bobby Van Buren is a top pull in this draft.
Well, yes, but that's if he declares for the draft,
right? I don't see him staying, honestly. I don't think Ohio State's going to be good enough for him to stay unless he decides to transfer. I don't see Ohio State being good enough again to play. And also, I don't know if he wants to risk another injury being in college before he makes it to the pros. So, but
I also don't know if he would have another year because he's a grad year. So I don't know if he would get the medical red shirt or not.
Yeah, there's a lot to look at there, but he's definitely a top pick for polls in this draft. Billy Dwan III is in this draft as well. And those are just a few names. There's a lot of guys in this draft that play defense, play LSM. So those guys are going to be a hot commodity in this draft. But Schaller is definitely 1A, 1B, maybe 2. So he's in that top 3. So he's going to be one of the first 3 polls taken off the list. It's just a matter of where he fits in and who likes him the most. But I will agree that Boston is probably the favorite for him at the moment, but it all depends
especially because they have the number 2 pick.
How some other things shake out.
Yeah, they have the number 2 pick, and Adam Lamberti's defensive big board right now. It's Schaller's the number 1 defenseman on his board, number 2 overall. Alex Ross is his number 2 defenseman, number 7 overall. BVB is number 3 defenseman, number 9 overall. Billy Dwan from Syracuse is number 4 defenseman, 14th overall rank. Hunter Smith from your Richmond Spiders, Deej, number 5 overall defenseman, 16th overall. And then a little bit further down is Patrick Pisano from Yale, his 6th overall defenseman, 41st overall player on his board. But, I mean, the Cannons, they have obviously the number 2 overall pick, but they have the number 2 pick, which is 10th overall in the second round. And then they have the 7th pick in the second round as well, 15th overall. Like, they could go Schaller, Bobby Van Buren back-to-back and just stash Bobby on IR and let him get healthy. And then, you know, Garrett Epple is going to be playing at age 30, age 31, depending on his birthday fall date. And then, you know, Keelty's coming off. He'll be, you know, another year removed from his injury, but we'll see what, like, their defense isn't necessarily young. So to get some young guys in there, I wouldn't be shocked if Brian Holman attempts to go back-to-back defense.
We've seen it happen before, and it worked out. It worked out. They got them a championship because of it, and they were able to move some pieces after that and get some nice pieces because of that. Like, it's a motto that works if that's what you need, and we see it work with other positions too. We've seen teams take multiple goalies. We've seen teams take multiple attackmen, multiple midfielders, and then just go from there and move as they need. There's no reason not to take a ton of defensemen in this draft when there are a ton of defensemen available. If that's what you need, go out and get as many as you want. They're there. That's what the draft and signing is for. And then you dwindle down and pick the guys that are best for your roster. But there's tons of guys that fit your roster. Which ones fit it best is then your job to figure out.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And this just popped on my timeline, and I think you might be interested, Deej. PLL Play is doing a free virtual session on building efficient, high-tempo practices that actually transfer to game day. They'll cover session flow, drill progressions, and how to balance fundamentals with creativity with TJ Malone.
Huh. I might look into that.
Free to register.
I might look into that, especially with looking to get some more offensive drills. Like I don't coach my offense at all. I don't coach my offense. That is what I hire a assistant for, who knows more about offense than I do. Like, I don't coach our offense. So, but it would be nice to have some things like this in my back pocket so that I can use them when I want to or when I need to, or be able to say, like, hey, you know, here's this, you know, that you can use, or hey guys, I really like what we've been doing, but let's add this little wrinkle so we can get this kind of look. I don't feel like a complete coach without having as much offensive knowledge as I could have.
I just DM'd it to you.
Bet.
So yeah,
definitely
if you're a coach, definitely check
out.
that out. Free coaching session with TJ Malone. Like, that's
can't beat
invaluable. That's invaluable. That is all we've got for you guys on this one. Deej and Hoots will be back with the college show on Tuesday, breaking down that heavyweight matchup that's going down tonight on Friday and everything else that's happened in the college game. So definitely tune into that. Be sure to follow us on the socials at OTB LaxPod across the board. Follow Deej at SCS_NextGreat on Twitter, at Uncle Deej12 on Instagram and Threads. Follow Hoots at HootSportsMedia.com. And follow me at KBIZZL311 on Twitter. Subscribe to the pod, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. Leave those 5-star ratings and reviews, those 5-star ratings and comments on Spotify. And subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia and Outside the Box podcast YouTube channels, youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia, youtube.com/@OTB LaxPod. And follow Underground Industries on social at The Underground Industries everywhere, and then at The U Industries on Twitter. And subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@The Underground Industries. But this has been episode number 414 of the award-nominated, honorably mentioned, number 9 NCAA ranked, number 11 Philadelphia ranked, the most disrespectful and unprofessional lacrosse podcast you ever done, seen, and heard in the land. The Outside the Box podcast, the official lacrosse podcast on the Underground Industries Podcast Network. For Deej, I'm KB. Enjoy this weekend of lacrosse. Go check out my appearance on the Lacrosse Matrix with Adam Levy, featuring Scott Dominy as well. Very fun talking to Adam. Back-to-back weeks, 3 weeks in a row, we've had somebody from this podcast appearing as a guest. We're just making names for ourselves. Somebody get Deej on their show. God damn it!
Y'all don't like me? Is that what it is? Y'all don't like me? Like what? Dude, am I abrasive? Are my takes too outlandish? Is it because? What is the issue on why nobody wants to put me on their pod? Please let me know. I can fix it. Well, except the last one. I can't fix that. I just exist. I don't think you saw what I mouthed. But it's like, I can't change that. That is me. So,
oh, that's funny.
If that's the reason why, then hey, get over it and invite me on your pod.
But yeah, get Deej on your pods. Let him go talk some ball. But thanks for tuning into this episode, everybody. Deej and Hoots will be back with you on Tuesday for the college show, and then we'll be right back here breaking down more NLL, PLL, WLL, whatever the hell comes across the docket. But until then, also, programming note, allegedly within the month, we will have former NLL GM and now the man running the show at City Lax, Rich Lisk, will be joining us on the show at some point this month. We're working on just the details of when, but he'll be joining us on the show finally. It's been a long time coming. So he'll be joining us on the show pretty soon. Very pumped for that. It's been a long time since I've gotten to chat with my good friend Rich Lisk, former GM of the New York Riptide. So we'll be talking to Rich probably within the month, if not beginning of March. So looking forward to that. But enjoy the weekend of lacrosse, everybody. We'll see you back on Tuesday with the college show and right back here next week for all that NLL action. But until then, we're getting the heck up out of here, everybody. Peace.
Doses.